It's real sensitive.
Yes, we've all been sworn in.
Thank you. Our first case is on page 17, Senior Inspector Linda Holloway. Case number CE20030722. Case address 3015 Seville Street, owner Breakers Seville Apartment Inc. Property posted 12/30/2020, posted at City Hall 12/30/2020.
I'm sorry, Jerry, can I see you a second?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It says I'm muted. That's why when I speak, but I guess you can hear me.
Please, Mr. Seiler, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
But I got the other gentleman on the screen there at the bottom low. Those are the owners of the property next door. The one that's subject. They need to raise their right hand too, and we'll get
They
this.
need to unmute their microphone.
I'm unmuted now.
Good. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Of course I do.
Are you both going to be speaking or just?
I'll handle it.
Okay, thank you.
So just, you want me to go ahead? Rhonda, I can't.
No. One moment, please. Good morning, everyone. Linda Holloway, City of Fort Lauderdale, Neighborhood Enhancement, presenting case CE20030722, property address 3015 Seville Street. This property was inspected on March 19th, 2020, and the following violation was observed. 47-19.5.D.5. The east side border wall on this property is not in good repair. The wall is not secure. It's leaning, stained, and dirty. An inspection report allowing 30 days to comply was issued. A pre-hearing inspection conducted on January 13th, 2020 shows that the violation remains as depicted on the photos. The city is requesting 34 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. So let me give you just a quick history of this because we're asking for a continuance and I've spoken to the city attorney. So the issue is this wall was originally cited as our violation. I am the trustee for the property at 3021 Seville Street, and we received a citation from the city saying that we were in violation. We produced a survey from McLaughlin Engineering that showed the wall is actually on the next door neighbor's property. So the violation that was reissued to them, I think they're the ones that initiated the original complaint, but the violation was reissued to them as being their violation. We then met with them. The issue is as follows, regardless of the wall being on their property, the wall helps hold up our side of the property. You can see the distance, the elevation distance between our property and their property. If that wall was removed and replaced, we would lose a lot of soil and probably would have a lot of erosion that would adversely impact our neighbor's property where the wall is located by the survey. So what we've agreed to do is jointly replace the wall. And in the process, we have to remove all those trees. You could hold that picture right there. You'll see what I'm referring to, Rhonda. I think I talked to you. All of our trees down that side are being held up by that wall. And I believe it's probably our trees that caused that wall on their property to move. So I think we're jointly responsible. Cobus and I have met. We've agreed we are going to share the cost in replacing the wall and we have to remove and replace our trees. I need to work it out with the city arborist, how many of these trees I actually have to replace because I have nowhere else on this property to put the trees that we have to remove there to replace the wall. So as I suggested to Rhonda, the only two impacted parties by this are Cobus on his side and us on our side. There are no impacts beyond our property lines. Nobody else has any detriment or downside to us getting this done. So we're asking for 90 days extension to allow us to get the contractors. I've met with the wall guys. Now I got to find tree guys and then meet with the city and see if I got to replace all these trees. So yes, it's on their side, but as a good neighbor, we're agreeing to split the cost because it is helping to hold up our soil. That's probably where I would leave it. If we can get a 90-day progress report, but no violation should be found, no citation should, nothing should be found wrongful, because like I said, this thing straddles our property line, and it's, you know, it's on their side, but it looks like it may have been constructed to hold our side up. I can't tell. We went through the city records. I believe staff helped me on that a while back. We can't figure out who built the wall originally, and we can't find the original plans for it because this is a very old property going back decades, and we can't figure out who built the wall. So that's why we agreed to split it. I see Kobus nodding. I think he acknowledged the agreement we have to split the cost and get this fixed.
That is correct, yes.
Rhonda, that last picture is probably the best one to show you. Can you back that up 1 second?
All right, so
There was a closer one. I'll show you.
you're saying it's on the other property, but you've come to an agreement to remove the trees?
Yeah, right there. If you pause that, I'm sorry, Mr. Magistrate. Right there, you see the difference in elevation. The right side is our property. The left side's theirs. So if that wall were removed and replaced with a fence, we'd probably lose 2 to 3 feet of soil, which would cause erosion onto their property. So we have to do this in a coordinated effort. So I apologize, Mr. Purdy. I was trying to show that one picture so you understand why we reached this agreement.
All right, and you think you can do this in 90 days?
I think I can get all the contracts done. Rhonda and I agreed on 90, so I'd like to have we'll give you a progress report. I think we can get the contracts done. The problem is we've had, Kobus, you had 4 estimates, I think, on the wall. I've had estimates on the wall. I had contractors out there. The last contractor I had got COVID and had to cancel my meeting with him after, and then we finally had it. So I have 5 bids on the wall, but now I've got the tree issue, Mr. Purdy, that if we replace it with anything other than that type of wall, I got to remove all the trees that are within that wall and the roots, and you can't see the top of them, but some of these trees are 20, 30, 40 feet.
Okay, and under the circumstances, sounds like you've got a solution to the problem, but you don't want a finding of fact of that there was a violation.
Correct.
All right. Well, let's continue the case 105 days, which will be on the agenda for April 29th, 2021. And let's hope that it's all cleared up by that point.
Thank you, and thanks to city staff too. Everybody's been very cooperative and very patient, and we'll get this figured out, Mr. Magistrate.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Katrina.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Our next case is a hearing to impose fines on page 37. Inspector Patrice Jolly, case number CE-20010850. Case address 1784 Lauderdale Manor Drive. Owner Errol Wallace. This case was first heard on 9/9/2020 to comply by 10/14/2020. One section not complied at $50 per day. $4,600 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Yeah. Let's see.
Can you hear Katrina speak?
Yes.
Good morning, Eric. I see you have your hand raised. Is there something I can help you with? Are you?
Yeah. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for acknowledging my hand. Okay. I am an attorney for
Okay.
My Florida Management.
Eric, are you on this case that was just called?
No.
Okay, can you please hold for a minute, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 1784, should be 1131.
So, Inspector Jolly,
Yes, ma'am.
it appears that your respondent has not yet signed in, so we will recall your case.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So our next case is an administrative hearing on page 26. Inspector Wanda Aquavela. Case number SE 20070138. Case address 3641 Southwest 23rd Court. Owner Noel Valdez Rodriguez. And this is an administrative hearing.
Which one is it? Katrina, which one is it, please?
3641 Southwest 23rd Court.
Okay.
Oh, that big old file.
Yeah. Okay, good morning, Your Honor. Wanda Aquavela for the city. Property was cited, notice was posted, pictures were taken. We returned at least 48 hours later. The trash was still there, and we sent a driver to pick it up.
Just a second, Wanda. Yadira, can you please raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear and affirm to speak your right hand, please? Thank you. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Oh, which one is it?
3641 Southwest 23rd.
There we go. Yeah. Go ahead, ma'am.
According to the notice, we did have that time frame to pick it up, and we were going to pick it up that day, but then that's when the trash came. So my father, he comes from work after around 6:30 or so, and that's when we were gonna pick up all the trash. But by that time, they had actually picked up the trash that same morning. So it was our understanding that we had that full day to complete the task.
Did you call myself or my partner?
No, ma'am. I hadn't.
We went out. Do we know it's the 28th?
They showed the
Yeah.
posting.
The original posting was on the 28th. And the trash was picked up on the 31st. So that's more than 48 hours.
That's not the notice that we received. It was picked up 2 days after we got the notice. I believe it was we had by Friday to pick it up.
No, the notice says the 28th.
Okay, well, the pictures and the notice say the 28th, and the pictures on the next one were the 31st. We don't go back until 48 hours afterwards, so.
Okay, this is an administrative hearing, and the evidence before me indicates that the city complied with the ordinance. I'm going to deny the appeal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case on page 26, Inspector Wanda Aquavela. Case number SE 20070159. Case address 1265 Southwest 24th Avenue. Owner Louis Gill. This is an administrative hearing.
Same time. Yeah. Okay,
7:20. Yeah.
Okay.
Same day.
morning, Your Honor. We went out to the property on 7/28/2000.
Can you hold on, please, Wanda?
Sure.
Mr. Gill, good
Hello.
morning. Please raise
Good
your.
morning.
Can you?
Hello?
Hi, can you please raise your right hand? Thank you. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Little
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, Wanda.
Okay, we went out to the property on 7/28/2000. The pile was out there. We sighted the property, posted the property, took pictures, returned 2 days later, took additional pictures. The pile was still there and had it picked up on the third day.
Yes. Okay. I'm the owner. The people renting there, they've been living there for 32 years. It's an old lady. I think that she paid somebody to rake the lot, to rake the lot, or somebody dumped that in there. I was not aware at all. The neighbor next door, they never noticed. As you can see, that's not a book. I could have put that in the back of my car and a plastic bag. I didn't know nothing about it. And I'm used to dealing with the code enforcement for Lauderdale for the past 30 years or longer. And they always send me a letter when it's a violation on my property and some of my property. And I take care of it right away. I have never been in court for a violation of the code enforcement. I have always taken care of it on time, but I'm not aware. And with this pandemic, I'm 86 years old. I cannot go out, every day to check my property. But it used to work when they send me a notice, and I always took care of it, or the neighbor next door would take care of it. That's the reason that I was not picked up. Somebody dumped it in there, or maybe the old lady has somebody rake it up and mount it there. But that's the reason. But the reason was not pick up because I didn't know nothing about it. I'm sorry. That's the best that I can tell you.
All right, thank you, sir. The evidence presented indicates that the property was properly posted and that the city complied with ordinance. That is the only issue before me today. They're not required to send you a letter. Posting on the property is deemed adequate. And it was not removed within 24 hours, so I'm required to deny your appeal. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's horrible. They denied you.
You denied it. Well, that's a lot of respect for the.
Good morning. Thank you. Our next case is on page 34. Inspector Gill Williams. It's a hearing to impose fines for case number CE 19010778, case address 1824 Southwest 11th Street, owner 1718 Southwest 30th Place, Inc. This case was first heard on 5/17/19 to comply by 6/6/19. So there are 3 suspensions notated on the agenda. 3 sections complied at $50 per day, $33,750 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Hello?
Good morning. Can you please raise your right hand, George?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Go ahead, Gill.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Gill Williams for the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case CE 190-10778, address 1824 Southwest 11th Street. Case was originally presented to Special Magistrate on May 17, 2019, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. This case presented again on March 5th, 2020, and was given a 10-day extension. There were 3 extensions given, August 1st, 2019 through August 29th, 2019, December 5th, 2019 through December 15, 2019, and March 5th, 2020 through March 15, 2020. All violations complied as of March 8th, 2020. The city is requesting full amount to be imposed.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Gail. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good.
Your Honor. Oh, hi. Well, great to see everybody again. As Gail stated, everything had been come into compliance. The reason for the length of it, obviously back last year, the weather was just unbelievable. Just rain constant every day, literally flooding the streets, everything. I went through contractors to do the paint work on it. Obviously, they couldn't paint during that time. Me and Gail had met several times. The compliance of the violations, about 90% of that, it was small things like removal of debris, fence repair, fence painting, tags trailer. There was the tenant had left equipment behind. We disposed of all that. He didn't return to pick it up, so we cleared it out with a salvage company. What was left to do was the paint work. Having to switch many contractors, they didn't have time. They couldn't make it in to do the work. Obviously, the rain was every single day. If it let up for a day, then you couldn't get a hold of a contractor to do the application. But in the end, everything was complied with. Again, 90% of it was very easy, moving, tagging, painting, and disposing of stuff left behind by the tenant. The length of time was really determined by the weather and suitable contractors to effect a repair on it. Looks beautiful now. It's still the same way as it was then. We haven't allowed anyone to do anything. There are very strict rules in place, and the tenants that are up front at the time are handling the property. Actually, in the picture, you'll see a little graveyard next to a tree. That's how well they take care of things today. Could I ask for a leniency of a waiver of the fees? Administration costs I know are there. If Mr. Purdy would see fit to administer just the administration fees, I'd be very happy. It'd be a good new year.
Well, you're right. Okay, Ms. Williams.
Your Honor, in reference to Mr. George and the challenges that he faced during that time frame of the weather and also trying to get things done with contractors and everything, with all due respect, there were extensions given, time frame passed. Unfortunately, it didn't rain every day of those extensions and that time frame of it being out of compliance. Unfortunately, at this present time, I'm going to still go with presenting the full amount to be imposed.
I'm sorry, repeat your last sentence again.
The city is still is requesting the full amount to be imposed.
Okay. All right. Well, sir, some of these were just storage issues that.
Correct. Some were storage issues. Unfortunately, I understand the painting part of, due to the weather, but there were storage issues. There was a fence issue that could have been corrected prior to the extensions in the time frame that was given to correct it as well.
All right. Okay. I'm going to impose fines of $4,500. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, Eric. I see you have your hand raised. Is there something I can help you with?
Yes, my client is on the phone. I just want to make sure that I'm properly here and that you guys know which hearing I'm here for. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew which hearing I was here for.
Eric, did you sign up to speak on a hearing?
Yes, I did, but I was in my car and I just learned about this just a few minutes ago.
What is your case?
I'm sorry?
What is the case number you're here for?
Give me 1 second. I'm going to get that for you. Thank you for helping me. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get that for you. The case number is FC 20010007.
Okay, we have, you're good to go. Once we call your case number, we'll bring you into the panelist list so you can be heard.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to log in from my computer. I'm having a problem. I don't know why.
Not a problem.
But I'm on my phone right now, just in case.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
All right.
So our next case is on page 40. However, we do not need to call the inspector as for case number CE 201000841, case address 1750 East Los Olas Boulevard, owner 1750 Los Olas Inc., in care of Premier Associates. The property was first cited on 10/20/2020 to comply by 11/19/2020. One section not complied at $150 per day, $8,250 accrued. This case was a continuance. However, at this time, the city is requesting another continuance.
Okay. All right, hang on 1 second. Okay, this is a case that was heard by me on the December 9th, 2020 agenda. Okay? And I continued it until today for a number of reasons and conflicting information standing. Let's go back. This was a citation. Ms. Montoya, if you can help me out here. This was a citation issued by the inspector, Will Snyder, and my notes are conflicting. Their appeal date after the citation was November 4th, 2020. Was an appeal requested, that is an administrative hearing. Anyone? Is Mr. Snyder with us?
No, sir. The city was requesting a continuance. And we called the case so that the respondents did not have to sit in the room for an extended period of time because we were simply requesting a continuance. I believe Supervisor Bass and the city attorney's office can better speak to the need for a continuance.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Supervisor Bass with the City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement. The stormwater manager and the respondents were conferring back and forth between the case to try to reach a resolution. That has not been completed as of yet, so that's why the city is still asking for another continuance for this case.
All right, on behalf of the owner. Any objection to a continuance? You're muted, sir. You need to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Am I on now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we would like another continuance. We have finally found an engineering firm that is willing to do this rather elaborate drainage study of our property, and that required preliminarily an updated survey of the property, and we've retained someone to do that with various elevations shown, and then we had a water permeation drilling study done last week. So we are trying to move along with this, but we really don't know how long it's going to take.
All right, but
what
I'm going to grant a continuance for 42 days, which is February 25th, 2021.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I ask one question? Excuse me.
Say again.
The minutes of the December 9th hearing indicate that fines had accrued of $3,000, which is a number we'd not heard before. And we timely filed our appeal. We were of the understanding that the fines were in abeyance until this is somehow resolved. Is that correct?
I don't know what the record reflects, but it seems to me that having read the ordinance, at that time, $3,000 in fines had accrued. And it was my intention that the fines not accrue during the period of the continuance. And I've got my reading of the statute is that that's correct, but
Your Honor, if I may, they did submit an appeal within a timely manner. So the first case that was heard was for appeal. It was just documented, I think, incorrectly on the agenda. But the first hearing was for an appeal, and they did do it within the time frame that was required.
So does that mean that so far there are no fines stated?
At this time, there shouldn't be any fines if the appeal has not been determined as of yet.
It's still in the appeal case, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So the minutes.
If I'm speaking incorrectly, the attorney or Katrina can state otherwise, but I believe when we're still in the appeal status.
Well, as I said, the minutes that came up on your website for the December 9th hearing state that fines had accrued to $3,000. And I don't think that's correct. So
they may have accrued, but I don't think they've been imposed yet because the appeal has not been determined. Once the appeal is determined, and if the finding of fact is on behalf of the city, then the fines will be imposed, and if not, it will not.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, could you repeat the date again for the continuance hearing? I'm sorry.
February 25th.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate the fact that you're working with the city. Continue to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 3.
Thank you.
Inspector Michael Jordan. For case number CE 201010077, case address 1736 Southwest 4th Court, owner Ben Lindemolder. Property was posted 12/23/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Katrina, can we actually go to the next case?
Okay. Our next case is on page 33. Senior Inspector Leonard Champagne. Case number CE-19110230. Case address 1430 Northwest 7th Street. Owner Buddha Project LLC. This case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 4/24/2020. Suspended 4/24/2020 to 9/4/2020. One section complied at $50 per day. $1,600 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Okay, on behalf of the owner,
Good morning. My name is Carlos Frost, property manager.
Morning. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes.
All right, just a second, please. We're waiting on the inspector.
My apologies, the inspector had to use the, step out for a personal matter really quick. Can we please go to the next case? My apologies.
Our next case would be with Inspector Jim Fetter on page 22.
22.
4-2.
Inspector Jim Fetter for case number CE 2006-0700, case address 1601 South Federal Highway. Owner, Levin Investments Limited Partnership. Property posted 12/4/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Mr. Gonzalez, can you please unmute your microphone? Please unmute your microphone.
Yeah. I cannot. Hello, can you guys hear us?
We can. Can you please raise your right hand?
Your right hand,
I'm sorry.
Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Me escucho.
Excuse me?
Say that again, please.
Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
James Fetter for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance Office, case CE 2006-0700 for property located at 1601 South Federal Highway. A inspection of the property was done on 6/17/2020, cited for the following violations: 47-19-4D8. There's a dumpster enclosure that is not maintained at this location. The front gates are missing and the dumpster is exposed to the right of way. Violation 47-20.20(h). There are parking facilities that are not maintained at the property. The curbs on the parking lot are broken, and there are potholes and uneven areas at the entrance of the parking lot. Violation 47-21.11.a. The landscape on this property is not being maintained. There are missing areas of ground cover, dead plants, and plants that were removed and not replaced. I issued an inspection report allowing 30 days to come into compliance. I posted it on the property. I re-inspected on 10/22 of 2020. I issued a final notice with 30 days to come into compliance. I re-inspected the property on 11/21 of 2020. I found the violations remained as depicted in the pictures. Scheduled for today's hearing. The city is requesting 133 days to come into compliance, and a fine of $50 per violation.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
Yeah, this is Luis Gonzalez. I'm a general contractor for SunTrust Bank. We sent a power of attorney this morning for you guys from Lavini Investment. That's the company that owns the property. Yesterday we have a conversation with Mr. James, the inspector, and we explained to him that we have the permit for the dumpster enclosure, and we are working on that right now. We ordered the material that we're going to install to close the enclosure, and that is in process right now. The work is in progress right now. Also, we explained to him that we are working with the city in order to define how we're going to repair the water, the pond water in the north elevation entry. Our engineer, and I'm sorry, architect is here sitting with us. He called the city because there is different ways that we can use to repair this issue. And we need to make sure that whatever we propose to the city is going to work. That is in process right now, and we have present them a couple of options and waiting for them to see which is going to be accepted. So at this point, I can tell you guys that we are working on the project. We have a work order from the bank, and everything is going to be done, we believe, in the next 60 days.
All right. Thank you, sir. For the record, I find that each of the violations does exist. 133 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter on each application.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 22 with Inspector Jim Fetter. Case number CE20081132. Case address 309 Southwest 13th Street. Owner Gregory McAloon. Property posted 12/4/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Greg, can you please unmute your microphone? Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
We can. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, I do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
James Fetter for the City of Fort Lauderdale, Code Compliance. Case number CE20081132 for property located at 309 Southwest 13th Street. I inspected the property on 9/1/2020, cited for the following violations. 18-4C, there's a derelict vehicle on a trailer or on the swale of the property. The boat trailer has no valid tag and there's no current decal on the boat. The trailer also has one shredded tire on the trailer. Violation 4734.4.B1. There's overnight parking of a watercraft at this location. There's a boat on a trailer stored on the property improperly. It must be stored on the side or rear of the rear yard, screened from view from the adjacent properties. Violation 9-304B, there's a boat trailer parked on the grass lawn area. Violation 47-34.4.A.1, there's a commercial vehicle on the right of way. There's a boat and a trailer parked in the right of way on this property. I issued a red tag allowing 15 days to come into compliance. I made contact with the resident and the property owner. I gave them a red tag and took the photos. I re-inspected the property on 10/2/2020, issued a final notice, giving them until 10/10 when I did another inspection and found the violations remain as depicted in the photographs and scheduled for today's hearings. The city is requesting 10 days and a fine of $100 for the violation.
All right, Mr. McAloon.
Yes, sir.
Your turn to speak.
Certainly, and I greatly appreciate everyone's time. It's a bit interesting of a situation because this is my actual property. I'm used to coming before you representing other people, so I'm interested to have this opportunity, so thank you. As it relates to the boat itself, this property I purchased in 2018. I did a lot of maintenance work with it. I ended up moving down the street about 2 blocks away or so, and while looking for a renter, the renter did bring up that they had a boat. Prior to renting, I checked with every single one of my neighbors and I checked the code and I could not find a prohibition in the code itself as it pertains to parking of a boat within a driveway. I then proceeded to enter into the lease agreement with these tenants and shortly thereafter received the code violation at hand. My solution towards fixing this situation is having the tenant fix the wheel, obtain registration and obtain the applicable title. This boat is not a derelict vehicle. It is operable. That's a Yamaha 250 four-stroke. That's about a $10,000 engine. The only reason it looks derelict is because the hull is currently in the process of being sanded, but it is a classic Bertram. Any boater knows this is a valuable boat and no one would consider it derelict in its right state. Additionally, I worked with the city for quite an amount of time because I don't believe the code says that all boats are prohibited from being in driveways of all residential districts. My reading of the code says is that boats on trailers are not permitted within the RS 4.4 district. This is clearly pursuant to 4734.4, whereby it labels commercial vehicles and watercraft. This is a personal watercraft of the tenant who signed the lease with me, and it should not be kicked into the commercial realm. I'm not sure how it got to that point. I'm not sure how the interpretation came to be that all boats are not allowed in all zoning districts, but this is south of the river, traditionally a middle-class boating neighborhood whereby people can't afford to be able to put their boat within a dry stack marina that ends up costing about $1,000 to $1,500 per month. I do agree that they need a registration. I do agree that they need a title and to fix that tire, and I'm willing to push them on it. But I don't believe that there is a blanket ban, according to the exact language of the code, prohibiting a personal watercraft from being in this location. If it was the commission's desire to do so, I believe that they do need to pass it legislatively to state that all boats are prohibited in driveways within all residential zoning districts, and the code just does not simply state that. As it relates to grass, you could see that it's in the front yard. I could have them move it up a little bit, but if I was able to afford to put my driveway all the way up to the front door, that would not be an issue and not a violation. As regard to the right-of-way, you could clearly see from these pictures it's not in the right-of-way and it is not a commercial vehicle. And even then, it isn't really encroaching really at all within it. So I believe under the reasonableness and the language of the code, I believe that this matter should be settled through registration and fixing that tire, which I'm willing to have the tenants do.
All right, Mr. Fetter.
Yes, the derelict vehicle is because of the tire and no tag, and the fence is at the end of it. That's where the right of way starts, and as depicted in that photograph right there, and the next photograph, you can see that the boat is outside of that area.
According to that interpretation, I'd be parking a car in the right of way every single time they park in a permitted driveway. So I can't accept that interpretation because my driveway is clearly within it. And unless the city is going to mandate me to remove my driveway, which is properly permitted, I don't believe that's a correct interpretation. Although the zoning does state that, I believe that's a bit spurious of an interpretation.
All right, sir. I believe the city's interpretation is correct. I find that each violation does exist 10 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Joyce. I see you have your hand raised in the attendees list. Is there something we can help you with?
I'm sorry. No, that was a mistake. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 3, Inspector Michael Jordan. I'm sorry, it's not. Our next case is on page 15 with Captain Robert Kersawich. Yes. On page 15 for case number FC 20010007, case address 3711 North Ocean Boulevard. Owner My FL Management LLC. Personal service was given to this property on 12/16/2020 and posted at City Hall on 12/29/2020.
All right, good morning. Please raise your right hand.
Can you see me? This is Eric Salpeter.
We can see and hear you. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you, Eric.
Good morning, Your Honor.
1 second, Robert. Maria?
Good morning.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Robert.
Good morning, Your Honor. Captain Robert Kersawich with Fort Lauderdale Fire Marshal's Office.
Here to present case number FC-20010007 for a property address of 3711 North Ocean Boulevard. Property's been cited in reference to NFPA 1.12.1. Work has been done that requires a permit. In particular, they enclosed overhangs on the outside, underneath the outside balcony. And they were also cited in reference to NFPA 82.5.2.5.1.1. Trash chutes, inlet doors does not self-close and latch. That violation is complied. We are here only for the first violation at this time. I have spoke with property management on it. They have obtained the services of a contractor who has come out. They've looked at the construction work that was done prior to obtaining the permit. There are remediation structural elements that will need to be done in order for it to pass. They are in the process of obtaining permits, and I'll let them speak at this time and advise where the status is on coming into compliance.
Good morning, Your Honor. As of Tuesday, I have turned in the uniform building application for alteration for the catwalk. And we've hired the sprinkler company to put the sprinklers, and they've also obtained the permit. I just got off the phone with him, and he said that his company was supposed to turn it in tomorrow. I was made aware that they informed me that they turned it in like last week, but I guess they haven't turned it in because he said that they're behind. Right now, we're just waiting for the city to accept the permit, and we can put our deposit down, and from there, hopefully move forward and close the case.
All right, very good. Mr. Kassar, what's the city's recommendation?
At this point, because they're in the permitting process right now, and it might take a little bit of time in order for them to obtain the permit so they can move forward with the work, we're going to request 70 days or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I'm sorry, how many days?
70.
70 days. All right. Okay. All right, for the record, I'm going to find the violation does exist. 70 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Our next case is on page 30, Captain Robert Krasowicz. Case number FC 200-20014, case address 1200 Northwest 62nd Street, owner Cypress Creek, Florida, LLC. This case was first heard on 10/14/2020 to comply by 12/9/2020. Two sections not complied at $100 per day, $7,200 accrued, and this is a request for an extension.
Yeah, that's us.
Morning, Dan and Doug.
Were you able to hear me?
Yes, just a minute, please.
Oh, sorry, because it cut me off a second ago.
Okay, on behalf of the city.
1 second, please. Dan, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you. Doug, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead, Robert. Okay. Robert, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Captain Robert Kasarwich with Fort Lauderdale Fire Marshal's Office for case number FC 2002-0014. Property address 1200 Northwest 62nd Street. This is a request for an extension of time. I think it originally set up as a hearing to impose the fines. They have moved forward with obtaining a design contractor. This is the same design contractor that did the previous work on the property a few years ago, where they had some code issues that actually parts of this case should have been addressed at that time, but neglected to be included in the permitting process. Emails from Miller Construction Company indicate that they're anticipating 6 to 8 weeks for permit approvals at this point. They're going to move forward with a complete build out on this, as opposed to obtaining permits to leave it in a shell state in the nature that it is right now. Miller Construction also indicates in their emails that they are anticipating the construction then to be completed probably in a 7-month time frame. But within that 6 to 8 weeks, they will have applied and obtained the proper permits for the work that's going to be required out there. At this time, we do have the respondents. I'll let them go ahead and speak.
Sorry, repeat that, Inspector.
At this time, I think we can hear from the respondents.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah. On behalf of the owner.
Correct. This is Spencer Green with Miller Construction.
Spencer, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
So we're just hoping to request a continuance for this work, since we've already submitted for a demolition permit. It's in the process, and we're working on completing construction documents to submit for permit for the construction build out of the space. Hoping, like the inspector said, to have the permit in a couple months and the work done 7 months after that.
What's a reasonable amount of time for an extension?
The duration of the project? Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, 9 months.
Your Honor?
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to request 70 days for them in order to obtain the permits for the work to be done. That should give them time in order to go through the permitting process. It should also be noted that the fire alarm system has been reinstalled back onto this property, and water has been restored back to the occupied areas. So at this point, we're only dealing with the shell spacing. And once that's under permitting and we have valid permits on it, then I think we'll be able to move forward with closing this case.
All right. In 70 days will be March 25th, 2021. Must grant the extension until March 25th, 2021, with a mandatory reappearance at that time. Fines will be stayed as of this date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 3. Inspector Michael Jordan. Case number CE 201010077. Case address 1736 Southwest 4th Court. Owner Ben Lindemutter. Property posted 12/23/2020. Post at City Hall 12/29/2020.
I'm here.
Please raise your right hand. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
Sorry, camera. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you. Jordan, please go ahead.
Good morning, Your Honor. Officer Michael Jordan for the City of Fort Lauderdale Department of Sustainable Development, Code Compliance Division, presenting case number CE 20101077 for the property address 1736 Southwest 4th Court. This is an RS8 zone residential property. On November 3rd, 2020, this property was issued a notice of violation for the following violations. 9-305B, the landscape of this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead missing ground cover. Also, section 18-12A, there is significant overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on the property and or its swale. This is a recurring violation. Previous case numbers are CE 2007-1257 and CE 2008-0506. Notice of violation was posted at the property. A copy mailed to the owner is listed on the Broward County Property Appraiser's website, as well as notice of hearing the same. Photographs were taken at the time of all inspections are presented here as evidence of the charge. The city's requesting a declaration that the violation exists or existed, allowing for immediate enforcement procedures in the event of repeat violations.
All right, so you're just requesting a finding of fact that the violation did exist?
That's correct, sir.
All right, okay, on behalf of the owner.
Yes. No, they exist. I'm just here to make sure I'm on top of everything. To make sure I got everything that's going on.
Yes, sir. Very good. Your Honor, if it pleases the magistrate, we're going to ask for 10 days for compliance, $100 a day thereafter.
10 days and 10 days or $100. Okay. That's 9-305B.
Yes, sir.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
So I get 10 days. How does this work exactly?
You'll have 10 days, sir, to come into 100% compliance with all the charges on your property or face fines thereafter as ordered by the magistrate.
Okay, it should be ready to be inspected whenever.
Your Honor, I did make first contact with the property owner yesterday. He told me that he has made progress and believes he's in compliance. Due to the lateness of the call, I did not have a time to get back out to the property yesterday. It is scheduled for reinspection on tomorrow.
All right, I find the violation does exist. 10 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter. Make the finding of fact that the violation does exist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 33. A hearing to impose fines with Senior Inspector Leonard Champagne. Case number CE-191100230. Case address 1430 Northwest 7th Street. Owner Buddha Project LLC. Case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 4/24/2020. Suspended 4/24/2020 to 9/4/2020. One section complied at $50 per day. $1,600 accrued in the city's requesting full amount.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Did the respondent have to sign in?
You already signed in.
Oh, he signed in? Okay. Good morning, Your Honor. Leonard Champagne for the city for case CE-19110230, 1430 Northwest 7th Street. As stated, the city is requesting the full amount to be imposed. To give you a little background, this was first inspected on November of 2019. And this is a tent structure that's basically built with a metal pipes as a structure, and is in the side setback of the property. So it's basically a tent. Okay. Like I said, it was cited on 11/10/2019. So they had 4 or 5 months to remove the tent before we had the COVID suspension, which lasted And then we finally came into compliance on 10/6/2020. So it was a total to remove that 210 Sac Street, 11 months to come into compliance.
All right. On behalf of the owner?
Yes, sir. I'm the property manager, yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I have the issue was complied much before, like the inspector said, we have the COVID situation. I've been texting and trying to communicate with the inspector since July 15. And I have here, I took notes when I tried to communicate with her. It was July 15, August 13, August 18, and October 1st. And also I have emailed her, Inspector Jones. I have here, hold on. June 1st, hold on, June 1st, June 15, June 17, June 22nd, August 21st, August 26th, and that was my last email. So my objection is about the time that it wasn't October 20, it was much before that.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Champagne?
No, like I said, Your Honor, I was presenting this for Roberta, and I've been looking. We had several inspections because actually we had 2 hearings and we had a total of 12 different inspections. And like I said, it didn't come into compliance. We showed until 10/6/2020.
All right.
Excuse me. Can I ask you when was prior to that? Because again, I've been trying to communicate with Inspector Jones since June 1st, and I didn't get a response from her.
I could go back and look at the inspections, but my point is we already heard the case, and that's what we showed inspections in between there, and the tent wasn't taken down, or the tents.
No, I'm not saying to remove it, but I'm saying to reduce it. That's what my point is.
To reuse the structures or the tents?
No, reduce the fine. Reduce the fine.
Oh, that's what we're here for today. That's what the judge is here for.
Okay. Sorry.
Either reduce them or go with the existing amount of the $1,600.
Yeah. Just for clarification, I have a June 1st. Let me see before. Sorry, May 27. Since May 27, I didn't. Hold on. Let me see. I have here copies of the emails. Give me 1 second, please.
All right. I agree with the city's position. I'm going to impose fines $1,600.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But I have a question, Your Honor. Can I ask you something?
What's your question, sir?
We tried to communicate since June 1st or May 1st. I have to confirm. Why it's a full amount if the inspector didn't go to inspect the property? What should we pay for the full amount?
No, I've already made my ruling, sir. We have to put other cases on the docket and people waiting. Thank you very much. I've made my ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Champagne.
Our next case is on page 11, Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne. Case number CE-19120081. Case address 2836 Southwest 5th Street. Owner Lester Bell Estate. Eric Bell. Property posted 12/31/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/30/2020.
Hello.
1 second, Eric. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Dorian.
Good morning, Senior Inspector Cologne with the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number is CE 19120081. Case address 2836 Southwest 5th Street. This property was first inspected on December 6, 2019, and the following violations were observed. 9-313.A has been complied. 9305B, there are areas of missing or bare grass, including but not limited to the swale at this property. 9304B, there are vehicles parked on the grass lawn area and the driveway is in disrepair. It has holes and or cracks and needs to be well graded and resurfaced. 47-34.4.B.1 has been complied. And 9306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing peeling paint, including but not limited to the fascia. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on January 11th, 2021, and it shows that the violations remain as depicted on the photos. And the city is requesting 42 days to comply or a fine of $25 a day per violation thereafter.
All right, Mr. Bell.
Yeah, that's fine because I'm working on it now. The house is painted. I'm doing all the other stuff.
All right, very good. I'm going to find that the 3 remaining violations do exist. 42 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Okay. And I was wondering, can the because what happened, I was doing all that stuff and I had like a death in the family. It's no excuse though, but about June, then I had going through a divorce and everything too. But I wanted to make sure that we were getting everything. So I wanted to see if the inspector could come out one day and point out, definite things that I need to make sure I get.
All right. Well, just stay in touch with the inspector. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I did. I was calling.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next case is a hearing to impose fines on page 41. Inspector Will Snyder, case number CE 19030931. Case address 1406 Northwest 15 Terrace. Owner Joyce Collette, Anthony Thompson Estate. Case was first heard on 7/18/19 to comply by 8/22/19. There are 3 suspensions notated on the agenda. 3 sections complied at $50 per day, $21,300 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount. Hi, Joyce. Do you affirm to tell the truth at today's hearing?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, Will.
Thank you. Code Officer Will Snyder, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, presenting case CE 19030931 for the property located at 1406 Northwest 15th Terrace. This case was first heard July 18, 2019. The magistrate ruled in favor of the city and the property owner was ordered to correct violations at the property by August 22nd, 2019. The case was next heard December 5th, 2019. The magistrate granted an extension and the property owner was ordered to correct violations at the property by February 6, 2020. Fines were suspended from March 16, 2020 to September 4, 2020 due to COVID-19 relief extension. And the case was last heard October 14, 2020. The magistrate granted an extension and the property owner was ordered to correct the violations at the property by December 13, 2020. The violations at the property were brought into full compliance on December 14, 2020. At this time, all violations are in compliance. The city is amending its request and is requesting a reduction of fines to the administrative cost of $1,206.
All right. Ms. Collette, you understand what this gentleman said? Ms. Collette?
No, sir. I don't understand.
Okay, I'll explain it to you really, really simply.
Okay.
Approved fines of $21,300. All right. The city is willing to waive those fines and requesting that I simply impose an administrative cost of $1,200 as opposed to $21,300.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's what I'm inclined to do. You have anything further to say?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Administrative cost, $1,206. Thank you, Mr. Snyder.
Thank you.
Our next case is a hearing to impose fines on page 42. Inspector Will Snyder. Case number CE1908027, case address 416 Coconut Isle Drive, owner 416 Coconut Isles LLC. This case was first heard on 12/19/19 to comply by 1/30/2020, suspended 3/16/2020 to 9/4/2020, and 10/14/2020 to 10/28/2020. One section complied at $50 per day, $4,250 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Please raise your right hand. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you. Well, go ahead.
Just like cuts in and out. Okay. Good morning, Your Honor. Code Officer Snyder, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, presenting case CE1908027 for the property located at 416 Coconut Isle Drive. The case was first heard December 19, 2019. The magistrate ruled in favor of the city, and the property owner was ordered to correct the violations at this property by January 30th, 2020. Fines were suspended from March 16, 2020 to September 4, 2020 due to COVID-19 relief extension, and the case was last heard October 14, 2020. The magistrate granted an extension, and the property owner was ordered to correct the violations at the property by October 28, 2020. Inspection determined that the violations at the property were brought into full compliance on October 29, 2020. City is requesting the full imposition of fines.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
Will, we have discussed the matter on the phone, and it is my understanding that we could agree on extension on this. We are obtaining the permit to demolish, and I'm not sure.
This is.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we're
right,
here. I'm not sure that. Yeah.
If I can interrupt you for a moment. There's confusion about the case that we're discussing today.
Oh.
This is the case that it has nothing to do with the overgrowth and debris. This is the case I believe has to do with
roof.
The dirty stained roof violation. I double checked that, but. Yeah, this is the case that had the roof, the dirty stained roof violation.
Okay,
There's no need to ask for an extension.
That was corrected.
The case is already in compliance.
Okay, I appreciate it. Okay. Okay, so if you don't mind to repeat what is on the agenda at this time? Imposing the
Yeah, the question is the imposition of fines for the compliance of this case.
Okay, I would like to remind the situation. We had a tenant that refused to leave the property due to COVID-19. We had a whole year without getting any access to the property, without being able to do anything there. And he was protected by the COVID-19 provision. As soon as we got the access, we immediately took care of the situation. This is a property that has to be demolished. It's in, and we are obtaining the permit. In fact, we probably should have it, we already have most of it done last week, and it should be ready today probably. We will be able to demolish the property within the next 2 weeks. We did everything we could on a timely manner as soon as we had the access.
Ma'am, the fact that a tenant occupies the property does not relieve you of the obligation to comply with the code, all right? I understand you got part of it done, but this thing goes back to 2019. I'm going to grant the city's request and impose the full amounts of the fine $4,250. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next case on page 42 for Inspector Will Snyder, case number CE-19120-860. Case address 2606 Acacia Court. Owner 2606 Acacia Court Revocable Living Trust, Danielle Butler, trustee. This property was cited on 12/18/19 to comply by 12/28/19. One section complied at $150 per day, $50,700 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Jacqueline.
I don't know what photos those are. Those are being, there we go. Sorry, I must have made a mistake when I put the photos in the case, in the file.
Jacqueline, good morning. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead, Will.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Code Officer Will Snyder, City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, presenting case CE-19120-860 for the property located at 2606 Acacia Court. This property was first inspected December 18, 2019, and given 10 days to correct for the following violation. 25-24B1C. There's temporary real estate sign installed in the swale of the property, which exceeds the dimensional limitations for temporary real estate signs. The violation was brought into compliance on December 1st, 2020. The city is requesting the affirmation of the violation and the reduction of fines to $750.
How much?
$750.
Okay. All right, on behalf of the owner.
Oh, good morning, Your Honor, Purdy and Katrina and Rhonda and Will. Thank you. Jacqueline Canavan. I submitted a power of attorney on behalf of Danielle Butler. Your Honor, I just wanted to briefly tell you, we're not looking at the correct pictures, by the way, Your Honor, just so that you're aware. But to be very brief, my client left the area in November of 19. She listed the property. That's the correct picture, Your Honor. Thank you. She listed the property for sale with Pam Whitaker, as you could see there. And unfortunately, she left the area because her mom has cancer and is still battling cancer in New York at Sloan Kettering. And my client has not returned since. I would like to point out to the magistrate that this violation was not done by my client. We did not put the sign there. The sign company did. We were not aware the sign was there until Miss Snyder, Miss Whitaker, the original realtor, was terminated. We had another realtor come in. And when the closing went to the closing table, Your Honor, I did a tax and lien search. And when I did that search, I found this lien, and I immediately contacted Mr. Schneider. And that very day, once we found out about the sign, we immediately removed the sign. We have been unable to sell the property because of this fine, and we have had to wait over almost 2 months to wait for it while we wait for the hearing. And with as much respect as I can muster, we are respectfully requesting to waive the fine completely due to the fact the sign company should be assessed for placing the sign in the wrong place. It is their job to know where to place the signs and if permits are needed. And we would pay any administrative expense, Your Honor. We appreciate any kind consideration. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. You don't realize what a great deal the city is extending to you. They're offering to reduce the fines to $750. I'm going to grant that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 7. Inspector Bovary Xantis. Case number CE-2009-0561. Case address 2009 Northwest 12th Avenue. Owner, Yusko Anayak, LLC. Property posted 12/4/2020. posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Sorry, Katrina, we're gonna go to the next case. Can you go to Vaughn's cases, please? Thank you.
Our next case is on page 4. Case number CE20110526, case address 734 Northwest 4th Avenue, numbers 1 through 5. Owner Community 8 Properties LLC. Property posted 12/16/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning, Andres. Andres, please unmute your microphone if you can hear me. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing? I can't hear you.
Andres, please press *6 on your phone to unmute.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Good morning. Inspector Malakis for the city presenting case number and address as read. An inspection of the property on November 17, 2020 discovered the following violations. 9-306. There are building parts including but not limited to the exterior surrounding the AC unit at the front door found being supported by a piece of wood which is not being maintained. 9-280B. There are sections around the back door which are deteriorated also and not being maintained. 9-280G. There are electrical appliances such as refrigerator and AC units not being maintained in good, safe working condition, along with electrical outlets. That has been complied. A notice of violation was posted to the property and photos were taken. Notice mailed out to property owner listed on BCPA via first class mail on November 18, 2020. A reinspection of the property on December 3rd found violations still existing. Pre-hearing inspection on January 12, 2021 showed the remaining violations still existing as depicted in the photos. This case was scheduled for today's hearing. The city is requesting 21 days to comply or a daily fine of $25 a day until this violation is brought into compliance. I visited the property with the property manager. He also stated that the violations have been since cured. Later that day after the pre-hearing inspection, I was unable to go back out to the property at the time. I think he has more to say on that at this present time. Again, 9-306 was found in correction, 9-280G was found in compliance.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, so basically I sent also and uploaded the documents. I don't know if you can show those pictures as well, that we compliant. We fixed actually the door frame, and also we shortened the shell of the AC as the inspector required us to do. So we should be in compliance right now. And as soon as the inspector actually can go out and check the cases that the job has been performed, we can close the case.
All right, that'd be great, but so technically 21 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter. Hopefully they're in compliance. We can close this one out.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 6 for case number CE-2001-657. Case address 1117 Northeast 5th Terrace, owner TGCG Holdings LLC. For Inspector Von Malakias, property posted 12/15/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning, Lisette. Can you please raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Malakis for the city presenting case number and address as read. An inspection of the property on January 13, 2020 discovered the following violations. 18-12A. There's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris surrounding the swale areas of the property. 9-304B, parking on the grass or lawn area of the property. 9-305B, landscape at this property not being maintained. There are areas of overgrowth throughout. 9-306, the exterior building walls were discovered with sections that were discolored and mildew stained. Notice of violation was posted to the property and photos were taken. Notice mailed out to the property owner listed on Broward County Property Appraisers First Class Mail on January 14, 2020. Re-inspection of the property in December with the property manager where the violations were explained and steps were to be taken to address the issues. Pre-hearing inspection on January 12, 2020 shows the violation remained 9-304B still existing as depicted in the photos. This case was scheduled for today's hearing. To her credit, Your Honor, the property manager has been in contact with Carl Larson, the landscaping inspector, and Bert Ford, chief zoning plan examiner, to try to obtain the information to address the violation of the parking on the grass situation. The city is requesting 63 days to comply or a daily fine of $25 a day until the violation is brought into compliance. 18-12A was found in compliance, overgrowth, trash, and debris. 9-305B, landscape maintenance, found complied. 9-306, exterior building walls discovered with painted and the discoloration addressed. Property owners here, management is here, she can speak on.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
Hello, my name's Christina Cuervo. I'm the owner.
Christina, can you please raise your right hand?
Sure.
Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, I swear to speak this truth.
Thank you. Go ahead, Christina.
All right, ma'am. You understand what the inspector said?
I'm sorry, I was unmuted. I didn't hear the whole thing, but I've had communication with him, and I have my my colleague who works with me and helps me with the management of the property. She's on, and can also speak. Lisette Armas.
Hi, good morning to all. How are you?
Thank you.
I've been working with Inspector Vaughn and Miss Williams to try and come in compliance in relation to the parking situation at the property. I sent numerous emails and I've been in communication with the zoning department, and they have given us an explanation as to what we need to do. I received an email yesterday with the permit application and the instructions, and we will be submitting that permit application by the end of today, if not tomorrow. Our intent is to comply, absolutely, and we will work as fast as we can.
All right.
Right, we're going to be subject to the permitting, and I understand that a plan has to be submitted. So, but we are going to perform the work and bring it into compliance.
All right.
I'm sorry, Inspector Vaughn, can you please repeat the ones that are complied?
18-12A, trash and debris.
Yes.
9-305B, landscape, overgrowth. 9-306, exterior building walls. And 3 were found in compliance.
All right. Now find the remaining violations exist. 63 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Okay, is 63 days sufficient time to obtain a permit from the city? I know some cities are different on their permitting.
If not, you can communicate with me and we can stay the fines until the permit is granted.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 34 with Inspector Vaughn Malakias. Case number CE 19080078, case address 639 Northwest 14th Terrace, owner Smite Elise. Case was first heard on 11/7/19 to comply by 12/12/19. Suspended 3/5/2020 to 9/4/2020. 2 sections not complied at $25 per day, $10,800 accrued. This is requesting full amount, and this was in order to reappear.
Good morning, Elise. Thank you. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you.
Inspector Malakis for the city, presenting case number and address is read. This case first came before Special Magistrate on November 7th, 2019, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. The property owner was given a complied by date of December 12th, 2019. Fines were suspended from the 3rd of the 5th, 20 until 9th of the 4th, 20. The property is still not in compliance. The city is requesting the full amount of fines in the amount of $10,800 and that they continue to accrue.
All right. On behalf of the owner.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm a first-time home buyer, and I purchased this property at the end of 2019. And unfortunately, due to clerical errors, the liens on the properties weren't disclosed to me. I also purchased this property with a 203K loan to renovate this property. So I am in the process of renovating the property. I want to get the property up to all the standards because I'm going to live in there. I want to basically ask for a continuance because plans are submitted to the city. We're waiting for mechanical to come back. Once we get everything approved, we can move forward with all the renovations to the property itself. The landscaping and the outside plans are done for those as well. Surveys are taken out. I want to get the property up to code and to your standards and to the city standards. I don't want any issues at all. And I think that is it. And if you would grant me a continuance, these things will be done. I don't know how long they would take, but if you can give me some information on that, I will gladly accept it.
Yeah, sir, you got a real problem there that's existed. Yeah. It's existed for a long time.
Yes.
216 days.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give you a continuance or an extension. Impose the fines and they'll continue to accrue. You need to pay serious attention to this.
Yes.
Get these violations corrected. At that time, we'll talk about a potential lien reduction.
Yes.
Or fine reduction.
Yes.
But for right now, I'm going to grant the city's request to impose the fines and they'll continue to accrue.
Yes, sir. These things will be taken care of, and we'll be in contact. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let's stand in recess for 5 minutes.
We are now in recess for 5 minutes.
The recording has stopped.
Raise your right hand.
Good morning.
Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Linda.
Good morning, Inspector Linda Holloway on behalf of the city, presenting case CE 2009-0715, property address 1430 Northwest 8th Avenue. This property was inspected on September 19th, 2020, and the following violations were observed. 9-305B, the landscape at this property, including the swale, is not being maintained in a neat, well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 9-280H1, the gate on the chain link fence at this property is in disrepair and is not being maintained as required. 9-304B, the asphalt driveway is not being maintained. There are holes and damaged sections. The surface markings are faded. 9-308B, the roof is stained and dirty. 9-280B, there are building parts which are deteriorated and not maintained. There is a boarded window on the property. 18-12A, there is overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on the property and or its swale. I posted the original copy of the inspection report to this owner-occupied property, allowing 30 days to comply the violations. I've had no contact with the owner of this property. A pre-hearing inspection conducted yesterday, January 13th, shows that the violations remain as depicted on the pictures. The city is requesting 34 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day per violation be imposed thereafter.
Right, on behalf of the owner.
I agree with you 100%. We had a tenant there with dogs. I sent people to fix some stuff and they didn't let us in, but we just evicted them, and you can give me 10 days, everything's gonna be clean. There was huge dogs there and the tenant didn't let us, because of COVID, they didn't want to pay, I guess, but we took them out. So the place now will be clean.
All right. I find that each violation does exist. 34 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 37 for Senior Inspector Linda Holloway. Case number CE 19032104. Case address 1444 Northwest 1st Avenue. Owner Mark Hickman. Case first heard 11/7/19 to comply by 2/6/2020. There are 3 suspensions notated on the agenda. 1 section complied at $50 per day. $750 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Please unmute your microphone, Mr. Hickman. Good morning. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I don't hear anything. Am I supposed to talk?
Just hold on a minute, please.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Hickman. Good morning, your magistrate. Case number and property address is read. The property is in compliance, all violations, and the city is requesting administrative costs of $442.
442. All right. Mr. Hickman, you understand what this lady said?
I understand that there's no violation, it's administrative costs. That I'm not sure. I guess there's no reduction in that because I did ask for the extensions, and like she said, we did come in compliance within the extensions. Unfortunately, the extensions were contractor related and adverse, also COVID related. So the administration fee, there's no getting around that.
All right. I'm going to impose administrative $42. Thank you, sir.
$42?
$442. 442.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case on page 38 for Senior Inspector Linda Holloway, case number CE-19120247, case address 1228 Northeast Fifth Avenue, numbers 1 through 4, owner Robert Mills. Case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 4/9/2020, suspended 4/10/2020 to 9/4/2020. 3 sections not complied at $50 per day, $19,650 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Good morning, Mr. Mills. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear in affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good morning again, Your Honor, Mr. Mills. Case number and property address is read. Violations 9304B remain in violation, as well as violation 9280B and 9305B. I had the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Robert Mills for the first time yesterday evening, and he has stated that he is aware of what needs to be done and can bring the property into compliance, and he's here to ask for a 34-day extension.
All right. Okay, Mr. Mills, is that acceptable to you?
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to grant a 34-day extension and stay the fines as of this date. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next case on page 27, Inspector Wanda Aquavela, case number SE20060162, case address 700 Southwest 20th Terrace, owner Albert Tanisma, and this is an administrative hearing.
Morning.
Just click on the screen. Okay.
Morning. Please raise your right hand.
Here.
Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's hearing?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Victoria. Wanda, go ahead.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wanda Aquavela for the city. The property was cited on 6/29/2020. It was posted, pictures were taken. We returned at least 48 hours later. The violation was still present. Took pictures, turned it into our driver to be picked up. He picked it up on July 2nd, 2020.
Okay, good. Well, the first picture is July 1st. Oops.
No. 6/29 is when I was out there the first time, and
August 20. Okay. Okay, July 1st still there. July 2nd still there. Okay. All right. On behalf of the owner, petitioner.
I'm Victoria, I'm his wife, and we were out of the building. It's almost 2 years. We just came back due to a fire damage, which happened in March 15, 2019. And we didn't see that violation because we didn't live in the house for almost 2 years. We just came every now and then to check the mail, our mailbox, and we didn't see that violation. And of course, whatever was done there, we are not aware of it. So that's why we're appealing the case. And we just moved back into the house on the 28th of December.
Okay, ma'am, I understand what you're saying, but the issue before me is whether or not the city complied with the ordinance. And the evidence presented indicates that the city clearly did comply with the ordinance. And therefore, your appeal is denied. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Wanda.
Yep.
Yeah, you have no more respondents.
Thank you.
We will now begin calling cases with no respondents, as we have heard all respondents in the hearing today.
No more respondents.
So how do we go? What do we do? How do we go about that?
You'll receive a notice in the mail explaining to you how to make payment for the bulk trash violation.
Okay, can we have like a monthly payment? Because due to our income, you know, my husband is 90, I'm 70 something, and we had so much expense, you know, due to the fire. We had to pay an apartment for almost 2 years.
When you get your notice in the mail, if you give us a call at that number and we'll assist you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Okay, next case.
Our next case is on page 2 for Inspector Michael Jordan. Case number CE 200400420. Case address 3167 Northwest 68th Street. Owner Helen M. Levitt Estate. Property posted 12/21/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/29/2020. Michael, your microphone is muted.
I apologize for the technical issues. It takes a senior inspector to work that stuff out. And when a senior can't get it, a supervisor steps in. Again, Officer Michael Jordan for the City of Fort Lauderdale, Department of Sustainable Development, Code Compliance Division, presenting case number CE 200400420. Property address is 3167 Southwest 68th Street, Fort Lauderdale. This is an RS5 zone residential property. On April 28, 2020, this property was issued a notice of violation for violations of section 18-11A of the city code. The pool at this unoccupied property has green stagnant water, is not being maintained on a regular basis. In this condition, it presents a health and safety issue for the community in that it may become a breeding ground for mosquitoes and is a public nuisance. Also, section 9-305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead, missing ground cover. Section 9-308B, there's debris, trash, or another element which is not permanent on the roof. The roof is stained and dirty. Section 9-306, the exterior of the building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts, including fascias, soffits, and balconies are in disrepair. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing and peeling paint. Section 9-280B, there are building parts which are deteriorated and not maintained. The garage door is in poor condition. Notice of violation was posted to the property, and a copy mailed to the owner is listed on the Broward County Property Appraiser's website. To date, the inspector has had no contact or response from anyone regarding the violations, and the property continues decline in condition based on several re-inspections. Photographs were taken at the time of all inspections that are presented here as evidence of the charge. The city is requesting a declaration that violation exists and the imposition of a civil penalty in the amount of $100 per day until all violations are in compliance.
Sorry, repeat your recommendation.
I'm sorry, sir?
Repeat your recommendation. How many days and fine?
The city's requesting 10 days for compliance and a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
10 days, $100.
Okay. All right. I find that each violation does exist. 10 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
One moment, please. Our next case is on page 5. Senior Inspector Leonard Champagne. Case number CE 19072098, case address 2500 Northwest 16th Street. Owner Willem Val Saint. Property posted 12/22/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Morning again, Your Honor. Leonard Champagne for the city, CE 19072098, 2500 Northwest 16th Street. This property was first inspected on July 29th of 2019, and it was last inspected on 1/10/21. Okay. For the violations, 18-1, 9306, 1812A, and 184C have all been complied. The only remaining violation is for 9-305B. The landscaping at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover, including the swale area. The city is requesting 14 days to come into compliance, or $25 a day thereafter, which should be a compliance state of 128.
Find the violation exist, 14 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 7. Inspector Boverick Xantis, case number CE 20090561, case address 2009 Northwest. We read that one, right? Oh, Northwest 12th Avenue, owner Yusko Anaik LLC, property posted 12/4/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Xantis on behalf of the City of Lauderdale Community Enhancement.
Case number CA 2009-0561, property address 2009 Northwest 12th Street. This property was first inspected on September 22nd, 2020, and the following were observed. Violation 9-280B, there are interior building parts that are not well maintained, such as floors, ceilings, doors, tiles are broken in the living room as well as in the bathroom. Violation 18-12A, there is overgrowth trash debris on this property, which is not in compliance. A notice of hearing was posted on property on December 4th, 2020. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on January 13th, 2021. Reveal violation 9-280B remain as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 62 days to comply all violation or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
City's request is granted. 62 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, Bovary, is 1812 complied? 12A?
Yeah, 1812 is complied.
Our next case on page 7, case number CE 20090670. Case address 1224 Northwest 11th Place, owner Dennis Swaby. Personal service was given to this property on 12/9/2020 and posted at City Hall on 12/31/2020.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Inspector Exentis on behalf of the City of Fort Lauderdale Community Enhancement, case number CE 2009-0706, property address 1111 Northwest 12th Street. This property was first inspected on September 18th, 2020, and the following violation were observed. Violation 9-305B, the landscape is not maintained. There is area of bare and missing ground cover.
Bovary?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the wrong case.
What's the case again?
1224 Northwest 11th Place.
Oh, I apologize. Case and address as read. Property was first inspected on September 17th, 2020. The following were observed. Violation 9-305B. The landscape at this property is not well maintained. There are missing and bare area of lawn cover, including the swell areas. Violation 9-304B. Both gravel driveways are worn through. Grass and weeds are going through them, and the paved driveway has cracked holes as well as the approach driveway. A notice of hearing was handed to the resident on December 9th, 2020, and a pre-hearing inspection was conducted on January 13th, 2021. Reveals all violations remain as depicted on the photos. The city is requested 62 days to comply all violation or fine of $50 per day per violation.
All right, I find the violations to exist, 62 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Our next case on page 7, case number CE 20090706, case address 1111 Northwest 12th Street, owner Orlando Jr. Desire Estate, property posted 12/9/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Inspector Exensis on behalf of the City of Fort Lauderdale, case address as read. Property was first inspected on September 18th, 2020, and the following were observed. Violation 9-305B. The landscape is not well maintained. There are area of bare and missing ground cover. Violation 9-304B. There are vehicles parked, stored on the lawn surface, and the paved brick has grass and weeds going through it, and mold need to be pressure washed. This violation is not in compliance. Violation 18-12A. There's overgrowth, trash, and debris on property, which is not in compliance. Violation 18-4C. There are multiple vehicles parked, stored on this property, which are with no tags and flat tires, which are now in compliance. A notice of hearing was posted on property on December 9th, 2020, and the pre-hearing inspection was conducted on January 13th, 2021, reveals Violation 9-305B remains in violation as depicted in the photos. City is requesting 34 days to comply the violation or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
The violation does exist. 34 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Our next case on page 8, Inspector Bover Exantis, case number CE 201000673, case address 1445 West Sunrise Boulevard, owner Burger King Corp., number 16 in care of Ryan. Personal service was given to this property on 12/4/2020 and posted at City Hall on 12/29/2020. It seems we may be experiencing technical difficulties with our inspectors. Magistrate, we're going to take a 5-minute recess while they get with IT to fix their issue in with the city's laptop. So we're going to take a 5-minute
The
recess.
recording has stopped.
This property was first inspected on October 16, 2020, and the following violation were observed. Violation 9-305B, violation 9-305A, there is overgrowth of landscaping material along with accumulation of leaves and overgrown tree branches encroaching upon the public right-of-way. This violation is now in compliance. Violation 18-12A, there is trash, rubbish, and debris on this property or its swell. This is a recurring violation per case CE 1810-0651. This case will be presented before the special magistrate as a recurring violation, whether it comes into compliance or not. At this time, this violation is not in compliance, and the pre-hearing inspection was conducted on January 13, 2021.
reveals the trash and debris remains, and the city is requesting 14 days for the violation to comply, or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
All right, I find the violation does exist. Did you say 14 days?
Yes.
14 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
14 days.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 9. Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne. Case number CE 1907-0102, case address 300 Southwest 31st Avenue. Owner Carlton Dixon. Property posted 12/30/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning. Senior Inspector Cologne with the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number is CE 1907-0102. Case address is 300 Southwest 31st Avenue. This property was first inspected on July 2nd, 2019, and the following violations were observed. 9305A has been complied. 9305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance, and there's areas of dead and missing ground cover, including but not limited to the swale area. 9304B, there are trailers parked on the grass and lawn area. 47-34.1.A.1, there's concrete, metal, and other miscellaneous items being stored at this property. 47-34.4.B.1, there are trailers being stored at this property that are not in a garage, carport, or hidden from view on an approved parking surface. 9306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts, including the fascia and soffits, are in disrepair. There are areas of the exterior that have stains, missing, and peeling paint. And 9-280B, there are building parts which are deteriorated and not being maintained. There's missing pieces of glass from the windows. And 47-21.16.A has been complied. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on January 11th, 2021. And the violations that remain are depicted on the photos in front of us. And the city is requesting 28 days to comply or a fine of $25 a day per violation thereafter.
Okay, fine. The violations do exist. 28 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 12. Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne, case number CE 2005-0140. Case address 3831 Southwest 11th Street. Owner TAH 2017-2. Borrow LLC and care of Tricon American Homes LLC. Property posted 12/31/2020. Posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning again. Senior Inspector Cologne, City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number is CE 2005-0140. Case address 3831 Southwest 11th Street. This property was first inspected on November 4th, 2020, and the following violations were observed. At 9305B, there are areas of missing or bare grass, including but not limited to the swale at this property. 9-280H1, the chain link fence of this property is in disrepair and is not being maintained as required. There are missing support poles and the fence is partially on the ground. 9304B, there are vehicles parked on the grass lawn area. 18-1, there is storage consisting of tires, buckets, and other miscellaneous items at this property that is creating a public nuisance and being maintained in a manner that may reasonably become infested or inhabited by rodents, vermin, or wild animals, or may furnish a breeding place for mosquitoes, or it threatens or endangers the public health, safety, or welfare, and adversely affect or impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. 1812A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and or on its swale. 47-39.A.1.B, 6B, there's outside storage consisting of traffic cones, furniture, cylinder blocks, and other miscellaneous items at this property, which is an illegal land use per code section 47-39.A.11. A reinspection was conducted and the violations remain as depicted on the photos, and the city is requesting 14 days to comply or a fine of $50 a day per violation thereafter.
I find the violations do exist. 14 days to comply, $150 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 13, case number CE 200302668, case address 2990 West Broad Boulevard, owner 711 Inc., property posted 12/30/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning again. Senior Inspector Cologne, City of Fort Lauderdale, case number CE 200302668, case address 2990 West Broward Boulevard. This property was first inspected on March 6, 2020, and the following violations were observed. 47-21.11.A has been complied. 1812A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and or its swale, and this is a recurring violation. Previous case number is CE 1808-1377, and it will be presented to the special magistrate to obtain a finding of fact whether or not it is complied prior to the hearing. And it was actually not in compliance as of the pre-inspection on the 11th. 2428 has been complied. And 9-305B, there are areas of missing or bare areas of grass, including but not limited to the swale area at this property. A pre-hearing inspection was conducted on the January 11th, 2021, and it shows that the violations remain as depicted on the photos. And the city is requesting 14 days to comply or a fine of $50 a day per violation thereafter.
All right, I find the violations do exist. 14 days to comply, $100 per day.
No, $50
thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 15, Captain Robert Kasarwich, case number FC 200-20011. Case address 490 Southeast 21st Street, numbers 1 through 7. Owner, William Bebluck and Ronald Rogoski Estate, property posted 12/15/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning, Your Honor. Captain Robert Kasarwich, Fort Lauderdale Fire Marshal's Office, here to present case number case number FC 2002-0011 for the property address of 490 Southeast 21st Street. Property was cited in reference to NFPA 1, 13.6.4.3.2.1. The fire extinguishers have not been serviced or tagged by a certified person within the last 12 months. We're requesting at this time 42 days or $100 a day thereafter.
Yeah, I find the violation does exist. 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 17, Captain Robert Kasarwich, case number FC 200-60012, case address 3278 Davie Boulevard, owner Soraya Holdings 2 Inc., property posted 12/15/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning, Your Honor. Captain Robert Kasarwich here to present case number FC 2006-0012 for the property address of 3278 Davie Boulevard. Property was cited in reference to NFPA 25, 13.6.2.1. The required inspections and operational tests have not been made on the backflow preventer device in the past 12 months. And NFPA 1, 13.3.1.1, the fire sprinkler system is in need of service. Property actually has no water on the fire sprinkler system at this time, and the building is vacant. We're requesting 42 days or $200 a day thereafter per violation.
Find the violations do exist. 42 days to comply, $200 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 17, Senior Inspector Linda Holloway, case number CE-200100349, case address 1324 Northeast 3rd Avenue, owner Providence Connection Inc., property posted 12/11/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Linda Holloway on behalf of the city, presenting case CE-200100349, property address 1324 Northeast 3rd Avenue. This property was inspected on January 9th, 2020 by former Code Compliance Officer Stephen Bish, and the following violations were observed. 9305B complied. 9306, The exterior building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts, including siding and window frames, are in disrepair. There are areas of the exterior that have broken boards, stains, and missing peel and paint. A pre-hearing inspection conducted on January 13th, 2021 shows that violation 9-306 remains as depicted on the pictures. The city is requesting 34 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day thereafter for violation.
The violation does exist, 34 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 19, Senior Inspector Linda Holloway, case number CE 200900718, case address 1429 Northwest 8th Avenue, owner Olive James, Neruka and Genesis James, property posted 12/30/2020, posted at City Hall 12/30/2020.
Good morning, Inspector Linda Holloway on behalf of the city presenting case CE 200900718. Property address 1429 Northwest 8th Avenue. This property was inspected on September 19th and the following violations were observed. 9-305B, the landscape at this property, including the swell areas, are not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 9-280D is complied. 1812A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on the property and or its swells. I posted the yellow copy of the inspection report on the property and mailed the original copy to the owner on BCPA, allowing 30 days to comply. A pre-hearing inspection on January 13th, 2021 shows that violations 9305B and 1812A still remain as depicted in the pictures. The city is requesting 34 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day thereafter be imposed.
And the violations do exist, 34 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 20, Senior Inspector Linda Holloway, case number CE 200900721, case address 1314 Northwest 8th Avenue, owner OMFL Investments LLC, property posted 12/30/2020, posted at City Hall 12/30/2020.
Thank you. Inspector Linda Holloway on behalf of the city, case number CE 200900721, property address 1314 Northwest 8th Avenue. This property was inspected on September 19th, 2020, and the following violations were observed. 9-280H1, the fence at this property is in disrepair and not being maintained as required. 9-304B, the asphalt driveway is not being maintained. There are holes and damaged sections. The surface markings are faded. 9-380B, there is, 9-308B, there is debris, trash, and or other elements which is not a permanent on the roof. 1812A, there is overgrowth, trash, debris on the property and or its swell. I posted the yellow copy of the inspection report on the property and mailed the original to the owner on BCPA, allowing 30 days to comply. A pre-hearing inspection on January 13th, 2021 shows that all the violations remain as depicted on the photos, and the city is requesting 34 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day per violation be imposed thereafter.
And that each violation does exist, 34 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case on page 20 is Senior Inspector Linda Holloway, case number CE 201000613, case address 3334 Northwest 69th Street, owner Dennis Kusharek and Dennis Kusharek Living Trust, property posted 12/16/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Thank you. Inspector Linda Holloway on behalf of the city presenting case CE 201000613, property address 3334 Northwest 69th Street. This property was inspected on October 16th, 2020, and the following violation was observed. 1812A. There is overgrowth of grass, plant material, and lawn debris on the property and or its swell. I posted a yellow 10-day nuisance notice on the property and spoke with the property owner at the time of my inspection. A pre-hearing inspection conducted on January 13th, 2021 shows that the violation remains as depicted on the photos, and the city is requesting 14 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day thereafter be imposed.
Fine, the violation does exist, 14 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 22, Inspector Jim Fetter, case number CE20030609, case address 610 Southwest 19th Street, owner Jean Bartel, property posted 12/9/2020, posted at City Hall on 12/29/2020.
James Fetter for the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case CE 20030609, property located at 610 Southwest 19th Street. A inspection of the property was done on 3/14/2020. The following violations were cited. 1811A complied. 9304B, there are vehicles parked on the grass lawn area. The gravel driveway on this occupied property is not being maintained. There are several areas of gravel driveway that are missing or worn through, and there are grass growing through it. I issued an inspection report allowing 10 days to come into compliance. There were several re-inspections. I re-inspected on 9/4/2020, found the violations remained as depicted in the photos. Scheduled for today's hearing, the city is requesting 42 days and a fine of $50 per day per violation.
I found the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Our next case is on page 25, Inspector Jim Fetter. Case number CE20090336, case address 1217 Southwest 4th Avenue, owner Sistemas Bluesmans LLC in care of Melendez Vega LLC. Property posted 12/29/2020, posted at City Hall on 12/29/2020.
James Fetter for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance Office, presenting case CE 20090336 for property located at 1217 Southwest 4th Ave. I inspected the property on 9/10/2020, cited for the following violations. 305B, landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat, well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover, including in the rear of the property. 9304B complied, 9308B complied, 9306 complied, 1812A complied. I issued an inspection report allowing 30 days to come into compliance. No contact was made at the property with the property owner. I posted the inspection report and mailed one to the property owner. I re-inspected on 10/20/2020, and a final notice was issued giving until 11/6/2020. I did my final inspection. I found the one remaining violation as depicted in the photographs and scheduled for today's hearing. City is requesting 34 days and a fine of $50 per violation.
All right, I find the violation does exist, 34 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Our next case on page 25, Inspector Gill Williams, case number CE20071064, case address 220 Southwest 20th Avenue, number 1 through 2, owner 220 FTL LTPJ LLC. Property posted 12/14/2020, posted at City Hall 12/29/2020.
Inspector, good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Gill Williams on behalf of the City of Fort Lauderdale, presenting case CE 20071064, address 220 Southwest 20th Avenue. I inspected the property on August 4th, 2020, and cited for the following violation: 47-18.47.A period. This property has been identified as a community residence. They have not registered with the Planning and Zoning Division with the city's Department of Sustainable Development as required. Mailed inspection report allowing 10 days for violation 47-18.4, 47.8 to come in compliance to the property owner listed on BCPA. As of January 13, 2021, an email verification through the Planning and Zoning Division, an application of completion has not been submitted and the violation remains. The city is requesting 14 days to comply or daily fine of $100 per day thereafter.
14. I find the violation does exist. 14 days to comply or $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Our next cases are hearings to impose fines beginning on page 30. Case number CE 18110425, case address 107 Southwest 6th Street, owner Terra Holdings LLC. This case was first heard on 8/1/19 to comply by 8/15/19. There are 3 suspensions notated on the agenda. 1 section not complied at $100 per day. $30,000 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The city's request is granted.
Case number CE 190500419, case address 913 Northwest 12th Avenue, owner Patrick Angleton. This case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 5/7/2020. Suspended 5/8/2020 to 9/4/2020. 1 section not complied at $50 per day. $6,600 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
City's request is granted.
Our next case is on page 31, case number CE 190500014, case address 2809 Southwest 4th Court, owner Thelma Folson Estate, Velma Folson and Tracy Folson. This case was first heard on 2/6/2020 to comply by 3/19/2020. Suspended 3/20/2020 to 9/4/2020. 3 sections not complied at $25 per day. $9,975 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Granted.
Our next case is on page 33. Case number CE-2001036, case address 505 Breakers Avenue, owner Union Holdings LLC. This case was first heard on 9/9/2020 to comply by 11/11/2020. 1 section not complied at $50 per day, $3,200 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The city's request is granted.
Our next case on page 33, case number CE-191200417, case address 2457 Northeast 27 Terrace, owner Manhattan Mortgage Services, Inc. This case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 4/16/2020. Suspended 4/17/2020 to 9/4/2020. 2 sections not complied at $100 per day. $26,000 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The request is granted.
Our next case is on page 34, case number ENF-CODE-191000421. Case address 1116 Southwest 1st Street, numbers 1 through 4. Owner Tropical View Apartments LLC in care of SAR Management. This case was first heard on 2/20/2020 to comply by 4/23/2020. Suspended 4/24/2020 to 9/4/2020. 1 section not complied at $50 per day. $6,600 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The city's request is granted.
Our next case is on page 35. Case number CE-200100917, case address 801 Southeast 13th Street, owner PhD Development LLC. This case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 3/19/2020. Suspended 3/16/2020 to 9/4/2020. 6 sections not complied at $100 per day. $79,200 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
City's request is granted.
Our next case on page 36, case number CE-200100767. Case address 1621 Seabreeze Boulevard, owner G. Robert Biz. Case first heard 3/5/2020 to comply by 3/15/2020. Suspended 3/16/2020 to 9/4/2020. 1 section not complied at $250 per day. $33,250 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The request is granted.
Case number CE 190705991, case address 1131 Northwest 16th Court, owner Harold Sparty. This case was first heard on 9/9/2020 to comply by 9/19/2020. Two sections not complied at $25 per day, $3,200 accrued. Two sections complied at $25 per day, $1,725 accrued. A total of $4,925 accrued. The city is requesting full amount, and fines continue to accrue on the non-compliant violations.
Request is granted.
Our next case is on page 37. Case number CE-20010850, case address 1784 Lauderdale Manor Drive, owner Errol Wallace. This case was first heard on 9/9/2020 to comply by 10/14/2020. One section not complied at $50 per day, $4,600 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The request is granted.
Our next case on page 39. Case number CE-1912058, case address 1103 Northwest 7th Terrace, owner Bowden Residences Central LLC. This case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 4/16/2020, suspended 4/17/2020 to 9/4/2020. Two sections not complied at $50 per day, $13,100 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The request is granted.
Our next case on page 40, case number CE-1911017, case address 3305 Northeast 16th Court, owner Victor Revocable Family Trust and all others. This case was first heard on 3/5/2020 to comply by 3/19/2020, suspended 3/20/2020 to 9/4/2020. Two sections not complied at $50 per day, $13,100 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Request is granted.
On page 40, case number CE-191200404 has been withdrawn. On page 41, case number CE-191200594 has been withdrawn. I'm sorry, one second. I'm sorry. I would like to recall the case on page 39. Case number CE-191200584, case address 1103 Northwest 7th Terrace for Bowden Residences Central LLC. The city is requesting an extension of 62 days and a stay of fines during that time.
39.
39.
Can you repeat what you said, Katrina, please? How many days?
Page 39,
How many days?
39-day extension and a stay of fines.
How many days?
39 days.
I said 63.
I'm sorry, say again?
I thought you said 63 originally. Page 39.
Oh, I'm sorry, 62 days
Okay.
and a stay of fines.
All right. So ordered.
And on page 44, for case number CE-171219003, there was an order to reappear. There was no respondent.
Okay, so city's requesting the full amount be imposed and continue to accrue. Granted.
I'm sorry. Say again. On page 44, case number CE-171219003 has been withdrawn. The city would like to enter pages 45 and 46 into today's hearing as an exhibit. It is the city's list of compliant, closed, withdrawn, and rescheduled cases.
That it? We stand adjourned.
This concludes the special magistrate virtual hearing agenda for January 14th, 2021.